Hey everyone, this is Max and welcome. In this video I want to show how I built a no-code application that sends positive news, and the tools I used are Parabola, News API, Watson, NLU and Twilio. And I wanted to do this for some time now, and I sent this tweet back in January. I said, hey, I want to pick an application built with code and rebuild it using no code, and just to see how fast and also how easy I can do that. And so I picked an application which again sends positive news, and I'll add a link to the video, but the application is here that was built. So again, you can check it out, but let me show you how I built it using no-code tools. And so first, let me just go back here quickly. So again, I use Parabola. That's the no-code platform. News API, it's a REST API that allows to search for news. Watson NLU allows us to check if the particular news article has a positive or a negative sentiment. And then of course Twilio allows us to send the SMS message. All right, so let's go back here. So again, Parabola is a no-code platform that enables you to build applications with no code. And this is a flow in a parabola, and you put these steps on a flow. So this is a step, this is a step, and this is a step. And every step does something very specific. And then each step has input and then output, and then the output from one step is being passed as input to the next step. So you can also think of it as a serverless-like environment where each step is a small serverless function, right? And then you invoke the next one and the next one. Now, the only thing is you don't write any code, right? It's all done sort of visually. So again, let me show you how I built it. So the first step is API import step, and this is basically a step where you call an external REST API. In our case, this is the News API service that allows us to search for news. And let's go, let me open it. Now, so I'm searching for COVID-19 news. Again, it's a pretty simple REST API request. So this is sort of the input, and then this is the output. So if I put the mouse cursor, you can see this is the JSON that we get. Now we're gonna make it a little bit easier for us to work in the next step, but this is the response. So again, the first step is invoking the API. All right, next. Next step is JSON flattener step. Now you saw the JSON. We actually need the URL of the article, and so we're going to take articles and sort of flatten it. But what we're really doing is we're taking the JSON for articles and converting it into columns and rows. And if I look here, you can see there's the name, author, title, description, and then the URL. And that's what we need. That's what we need in the next step. Now, the way Parabola works in general is that it works with table-like sort of data, basically columns and rows. And so that's why we convert it into this format. All right, so next is, now that we have a URL in each row, this step is called API enrichment. And what this step does is that it calls the Watson NLU, natural language understanding. And what we're trying to do is determine if the article has a positive sentiment, neutral, or negative. And of course, we want to pick the article that has the most positive sentiment. So this is the endpoint here. And then there's also a password you would need to invoke Watson NLU. But let me quickly jump to the service. So this is the service. Again, you can get a free ABM Cloud account, and you can create a service. And you will need, again, this is the API key or the password, and then you would need this URL. Okay, so again, free plan, and you'll be able to create this service. Now, if we scroll here to the side, let me see here, probably passed it. Oh, here we go. So this is the sentiment. So you see we're getting the sentiment. So this is a negative sentiment, this is neutral, and then let's see, so this is more positive here. All right, so we now have the score for each URL. So next step, we want to get the highest one. And so to do that, we're going to sort. So we're going to sort right here by the sentiment score in descending order. And if I go pass it again, let me see here. Here we go. This is the score right here, right? So you can see now it's the top score is at the top. Okay, so that's what we need. Now, next we want to pick this row. But before we do that, we also want to add a row number. And this will allow us to pick that row with the highest positive, with the highest sentiment score. So we add a row number. And if I go here, so this is still the same, the highest sentiment score. All right. Next, we're going to actually sort of pick that row. And this is a row filter. And we're saying that, you know, drop all the rows, but only keep or include the row that has, which is equal to number one, row number one, right? And that's the row that we need. All right. We're almost ready to send the message. First, we need to actually create the message. And so we're going to go to add columns, and we first need to where to send the message. So we add an extra column and we just put a default value, right? So it's right here. This is the number where to send the message. And again, if I go all the way to the side, we'll see the phone number as a separate column. All right, next is we need to put together the actual text message. So again, we create a new text message, and then using two existing columns, we create the content for it. And if I go, this is the message. All right, and the last step is to use Twilio, and Parabola has a built-in Twilio component, and you would connect your Twilio account, and then this is your Twilio number, and you would say, you know, which column to use to send the message. And so this is the message we want to send. All right, so once you're done, you would publish and save the flow, and it takes you here. So there's an option to run it right away, and you can also schedule. So you can run, you know, every hour, once a day, and you can see their options here, right? So let's say it runs once a day. You know, it would call the news API service, get the latest articles, pass them through Watson NLU, determine which one has the most positive sentiment, and then get that row and then send you a message. All right, and if I go here, if I scroll in this tutorial, and again, I'm going to use this, I'm going to include the link in the video. You will see how it looks. Okay, and again, I'll include the link to this article as well. Anyhow, so going back here, again, my goal was to take a take a code, an app that was built with code, and rebuild it using no code. And this, again, this short video and also a tutorial shows you exactly how to do that. So give it a try and let me know. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.